Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe. Since we've got two guests today, I'm going to do this very quickly. And Marcia, my co-host today, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great down here in sunny Florida. Can't wait to get started.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And we have two special people. Shanna, I've been trying to get you for months, but she is so busy. So she finally said, I'll only come on if Jace comes on. And I already talked to Jace. So we have them both, and it's so excited we have them both. Now, just a warning to everybody that's in the chat room. If we have a very busy chat room, I try to get all the questions because we only have a limited amount of time, but I will try to get to as many questions as I can. Also, sometimes the questions do not come through, even though you may think they are. So we recommend that you stay on our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. Those are the best ones to have the chat and comments come through. So, Shanna, how are you doing today?
I'm so wonderful. I just got back from a pretty long trip shooting a bunch of stuff, and so I've had a couple of days to chill. It's been about a week since I got back, so it's been nice to finally have some time off.
Yeah, Jace, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just got back from working out, so I'm in my gym stuff still, but
I'm sure the fans are going to love that. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, now here is, you had warned me, and so here it is. Wanda Brewer says, hello, Shanna and Jace. How are my favorite two vertical actors? And you just answered that question, so that's great. And then I have a message from the Ukrainian actresses fandom. Hey, everybody. Hey, how are you doing over there? Now, I've got some other questions in the chat room, but I am going to be a nice person because I was really mean to Marcia early this morning. So I am going to let Marcia go ahead and start with questions. Marcia, you have the floor.
Hi, thank you, Michael. You're so nice. I'll remember that the next time.
Did I get you mad at me?
But
No, okay.
Yes, I am very delighted to have both Shanna and Jace because you're our first couple on the show. So, and let's get off the bat first. You are a couple.
Yep.
Yes.
So how long have you been a couple, and did it start on Verticals?
I mean, it's been like a little over 3 years.
3.5.
3.5 years. She was like, "You better know the date."
That's right.
Well, there goes the relationship right there.
Well, there's the end of no. So 3.5 years. We actually met in college, so we didn't start getting into verticals until like
A year ago.
Has it been a year?
It's been one full year. It was.
Oh,
I had my year anniversary of verticals last month.
That's been really fast. Yeah, doing verticals. Like she's been doing verticals for a year. I haven't been as long.
You hit a year in July.
You were Mr.
Vampire.
I have no concept of time. There we go. So it wasn't Mr. Vampire. Yeah.
But we met in college. We were both. He was a performance major. I was a musical theater major. So we both actually did a lot of live theater, and didn't really break into film verticals until a year ago. Yeah. And we were in a production of Elf the Musical together.
That's like where you met.
He played Buddy the Elf. I was like elf number 5.
That is
5?
adorable.
Really?
That is so adorable.
And yeah, we hit it off from there. We would sit next to each other in the makeup room, and he'd play his music, and I like knew the songs, and he was like, nobody knows this NSYNC song. So.
Specifically Space Cowboy.
Space Cowboy by NSYNC. I remember that.
Oh my. That is
So
crazy.
you started you met on stage kind of together, and what was it about each other that you noticed that made it click? What?
That's like, what's the thing that made it click? I mean,
for me, I know Well, one, he was very cute, but two, he
Just get down to the real. Yes.
he checked all of those boxes. One, I really liked that we had the same interests, obviously, but he's complimentary and caring and sweet, and even just as friends, he was so kind, and that really stood out to me. Just because I feel like people our age at the time tend to be, can be immature, and he was very mature and kind and sweet and considerate and all of the things, and also very talented. That helps a lot.
No, she's a sucker for a man in tights. I was wearing that elf costume, you know.
Exactly, this bright yellow tights.
So who you both sing then?
Yeah.
So who's the better singer, do you think?
I've been training longer, so I'll accept that. But he's been taking lessons for a couple of years now.
Yeah. She's
very
definitely like wonderful with classical music and all that. Like if you think like golden age musicals, she's got that
Italian arias.
Yeah, she's got that really strong voice for that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of lean more contemporary, and if I can more.
And Shanna, are you a twin? Did I read
Yeah,
that?
I am.
Is that identical or?
No, I have a twin brother.
Okay.
We're both in like art. So he just started doing tattoos and designing tattoos, but he went to school for graphic design. So he does like art, like paper and pen, ink, digital, all that kind of stuff. Animation.
We voice acted for him one time.
We did voice act for him one time, and then I'm on the like the physical, like creative music, theater, dance side of things.
He also did theater for a little bit in high school too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jace, well, actually, Shanna, you played Mercutio. Did you in Romeo and Juliet? Is that right?
Oh my gosh, that was my senior year of college. Yeah, I played Mercutio. We did a pretty epic early 2000s adaptation. So I got to do a knife fight and got stabbed.
Well, that was kind of a different take on the play.
Mm-hmm. Actually, both our Mercutio and our Tybalt were both played by women, which kind of adds a whole new element with Romeo's relationship with Mercutio. We played it a little more flirty, which creates this like tension with Juliet. It was very interesting. And also, he's just such a fun role in Romeo and Juliet. It was definitely my favorite out of the ones I read for that show. I'm very glad to be cast as Mercutio.
Boy, that must have been fun to do, I imagine. Yeah. That was cool. Michael, do you want to jump in?
I got to get some of these questions out of the way. Justin's got two questions. The first one is to Miss Sinow. You played Isabelle Dumont and Delaney Monroe. Which of those characters do you relate to more? And what's the best acting advice you've got?
Definitely Delaney. Isabelle Dumont, well, I loved playing her. It was so much fun. It was my first big role. She's a little bit of a pushover. And she's very like dewy-eyed, female, innocent, sweet girl, which was so fun. And it's very much like that stereotype you see in verticals a lot. Delaney, I really related to like her passion and her love for the people around her quite a bit. I just saw a lot of myself. I brought a lot of myself into the character, which helped me stay grounded and real, even in this heightened world where we get to slap each other and throw water in each other's faces and all of this fun stuff. But I really loved her strength. So not only did I want to bring myself into her, I really admired her as a character. And that's kind of thing. The best acting advice I can give is I think when you can like bring yourself into the character, lean into your, like, not always, but you can lean into that typecast and have fun in that moment and play yourself. You don't always have to be some big different character from yourself. You don't always have to do some like crazy voice or personality. It can be close to what you are. That's where I found the most grounded and real moments, is whenever I bring me into the character.
Cool. Okay, let us go to Jace now. You played Buddy, Macduff, Wyatt, a cop, a burglar. Which of those characters do you personally relate to most?
Do I?
And which one the least?
Well, I mean,
I'll leave
guess-
that up there so you can read what they are.
yeah. I guess to relate to the one, I'll start with that. Honestly, even though it's like such a big character, I'd probably say Buddy the Elf. Just because like it's so much energy. And that's why I loved it. If like my friends, they know me, like I always have a bunch of energy. Now I wouldn't say I'm a 30-year-old who thinks I'm an elf, but I'd say definitely it's a lot. Life is a lot more fun whenever you like let yourself have fun, and that's what Buddy the Elf's all about. Is he has the Christmas spirit all the time and always wants to just live life and not really care what everyone else thinks of him. Be able to be who he is, which for him he's an elf. But I'd say that's definitely like that role. Whenever the show got announced that we're doing Buddy the Elf, I got like 3 texts immediately being like, "Oh my gosh, you have to play Buddy the Elf."
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just I fit the exact criteria for him too, like 6'2", blue eyes, all that's like also is listed on this I fit. But yeah, other than the fact that he thinks he's an elf, a lot of the fun energy, I had to go with that. But I mean, the one I could say Burglar, but it's just that was the one in True Gentleman. I had one scene where I was robbing Shanna's character in that one. So I mean, I probably wouldn't be robbing someone. But
Did you have fun robbing her?
I had a great time. There's a picture of me smiling when our sound guy took a picture of. I just happened to be cheesing. I was so happy
He's
to be there
holding
robbing.
a knife to my throat. He's like,
It was so much fun. But I mean, if I'm doing a real character, I'll say I'm not as much. I'd probably say Macduff. I mean, if you know the
You're
Scottish
Scottish.
play Macbeth, Shakespeare play, Macduff is the I guess like the arch enemy to Macbeth. Macduff's the good guy. He's the hero. But I mean, like he's just so for his nation, and his whole like personality kind of revolves around Scotland and doing that. I mean, I have really no connection to Scotland, but
Sure.
probably I don't have the bloodlusting urge to kill anyone who has killed my entire family. I don't have to experience that yet. So probably don't relate to Macduff as much.
Who knows? You might later. I don't know.
I don't know if life. Hopefully I don't. But
Hopefully you don't. But okay, I was going to ask something, and then someone kind of asked the same thing. So let me throw this up when I find it again. Oh golly, I thought I'd had it.
while you're looking for it, or one of our
Oh yeah, go ahead.
being it.
I see.
Oh, good. Yes, we
Now,
like
who is
our ratings
that?
go up with animals.
She's up here sitting in
This
her
is
lap.
Francine.
Francine. Hi, Francine.
Our other cat, Nancy, is running around causing a ruckus. Whenever we have something we got to do, she makes sure to start playing with everything.
Right. That's like a kid. The minute you start doing
Exactly.
something, it's like,
So you see me looking around, it's just me reacting anytime Nancy does anything. She's tearing up something right now.
Found it.
oh, good.
When do we see you sing in a vertical? I don't know who this was thrown at, but I'm going to throw it to both of you.
Whenever they make a musical vertical.
I have actually had a couple people be like, hey, a friend of mine's writing a vertical with music in it. Would you want to audition? So there are some maybe in the works out
In
there.
the pipeline.
None that I've auditioned for yet. But they are in the world.
There's inklings of them.
There's inklings of them. And hopefully they'll make an appearance soon.
Hopefully they will. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had a couple of other guests that have said, oh, I do a musical, but I don't know if that's going to work with the format. But, I mean, they just have to change things around. And they can
I
Figure
mean,
it out.
verticals are so similar to live theater.
The style of
Like
acting.
the style.
Mhm. Yes.
It makes it a much easier transition from stage to film through verticals.
Because you can kind of meld the two in vertical world, and then as you audition for other stuff, phase out some of the.
You have the heightened sense of
different
drama,
acting
and so
styles.
like it's kind of you're with stage, you're going big for an audience, and this is going big, but it's a nice smaller camera. But like you still keep the same energy because just the heightened drama of them.
Which brings me to the question that I ask everybody, and usually everybody's got something different to say. So, when you told your friends the first time that you were working on a vertical, and they gave you this look like, what the is that? How did you explain to them what a vertical drama was?
I know that I had a very different experience because my first one was also my first acting job, and it was it was vampire BDSM.
Oh, someone asked a question about
Okay.
that. Okay.
So I told my friends, and then they were like, Shanna, is this the right kind of movie that you're filming? And I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then I'd be like, you know those little movies you get on your TikTok, and they're like 1 minute long, and they're romances, and you just like get hooked really fast. And they would be like, yeah. I'd be like, it's that. And they're like, oh. So that was kind of my way of explaining it. And then it shifted into, they're like a soap opera, but you watch it up and down on your phone. And that's how I explain it now. Most people now kind of know what I'm talking about. If I say TikTok, they know what I'm talking about. But if I'm explaining it to someone who doesn't know, or the way my parents explain it to people, is that it's like a soap opera that you watch up and down on your phone. And that's also kind of how I explain the acting style. Because you get some people who are like, all the vertical actors are bad. No, it really is just the style
It's the style, yeah.
asked to do, and it's why they hook you in so much.
It's so funny because they'll be like, "Oh, it's such bad acting." I'm like, and you kept watching it.
And you watched the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and they probably subscribe too. So there you go.
Like, that's it's kind of just like the stylistic acting with it. I'm like, your first time doing it, you feel like I'm doing this wrong, but they're like, no, you're doing it right. And then you see it, and you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. That's why you gotta listen to the director. The director knows what they're talking about.
The director knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Jace, would you have anything to add to that explanation, or did you have a totally different thing when you tried to explain it to people?
No, it's basically very similar to that. I mean, my first time explaining it was mostly being like, oh, my fiance does these, and then explain like pretty much the same way she explained it. But a funny little story is after Shanna did Mr. Vampire, or as I like to make sure I use the full title, Mr. Vampire Wants Me Every Day.
With Casey Esser.
I ended up getting a new job because I was working like 30 minutes away, and I got one that's really close by me, and found out when I was just talking to the manager that was hiring me, I just happened to bring up, I was talking about my fiance, being personable to kind of do an interview, and she actually recognized Shanna and was like, wait, was she in this? And so she had seen Mr. Vampire Wants Me Every Day and recognized Shanna from that. So there
goes another question I was going to ask you. Okay, that's out the window now. Okay, bye. Okay. Well, I'll throw this up because this was about Mr. Vampire. Wanda wants to know, what's your favorite scene from Mr. Vampire Wants Me Every Day?
There's a lot of them. I think my favorite scene is the one with the ramen. So I'm sitting there, and this was an audition scene, and I cooked a cup of ramen for the audition as well. So I'm sitting there eating ramen, and I'm like shoveling it in my face, and with my mouth full of noodles, he's like, what are you eating? And I go, instant noodles. You want to try some? And he goes, no, I haven't had human food in 1,000 years. And it was so ridiculous, and it was so fun, and it was the one moment of comedy that I get in Mr. Vampire, and I just got to like talk with my mouth full of food. So that was so much fun. But that one, the whole thing, every scene, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I get to be on set for the first time. So all of it, I have so fond memories of. Like, we're splashing the character Catherine, who is played by Carrie Ann. I had splashed her with water, and I was like, this is great. So yeah, but the noodle scene, I think, takes it for me. And yeah, for the audition, I cooked a cup of noodles. And we took so many takes just to get the right like noodle hanging out of my mouth so that it looked cute, but also kind of funny.
Cool. Here's someone that hasn't asked. Amanda asked, "Love you, Shanna. Jace, are you coming to Verticon as well?"
I I don't know.
Yes, I was told yes.
You were told that's what
He doesn't have a
Surprise!
I'm not on a panel or anything, but
he's just coming to cause trouble.
well,
Yeah.
Casey and I are joking about. I don't know if Casey's actually joking. I think he's serious.
Casey is serious.
About me being his bodyguard. It's like,
well, you know that he may
That
need
works.
Jace will be a
Yeah.
part
But the
of
funny thing
Casey
is,
posse.
between me and Casey, I feel like Casey would be the better bodyguard. But
Maybe you'll be
I think
the
they're that.
distraction, then they'll go after you instead of Casey.
Yep, I can run fast, so
Well, there you go.
distraction.
There
I'll
you
run
go.
and they'll follow me. I'll put on my Casey mask and run away.
Well, speaking of Verticon, this will be your first convention. Is that right? Have you?
Yes, I've with being so new in the world and this being the first vertical convention, this will be my first that I've ever had any kind of thing at. I don't have my own panel. I'm doing a dual one with Casey dual one with Robert, and then photo ops with Casey and Robert Palmer Watkins. So I get to
Legal name.
he uses his full name. I didn't want to just say Robert, but people know Casey. And so I'm excited for that and be able to talk about those individual projects. I mean, with Casey, I've got 3 projects I can talk about, but I'm very excited.
And I always ask new convention goers, have you been practicing your autograph?
I have a signature that I have. It kind of looks like a baseball stars, and it's
Yeah,
just
it looks
2
really
big S's, but it works for me.
With a dot.
With a dot for the I. instead.
Okay.
And
Can you do it fast?
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay.
It's just like that.
I can do it.
Yeah, he'll sign everything for me actually.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Well,
yeah,
Jace, you'll have to be practicing yours too.
Although I don't worry, I haven't practiced mine my whole life.
We've been waiting for this.
It is exciting to see Verticon happen because this is such a booming industry. I mean, I've only been introduced to it probably in the past 4 or 5 months.
My fault.
I've seen it grow incredibly, and Verticon is going to be quite an experience. I think you're going to enjoy it so much. You're going to get to meet your fans in person.
No, it's crazy because you're just talking about like it's the vertical's booming, but like because she wasn't originally on any panels or anything for Verticon, but like she kind of like blew up right in the middle of Verticon like getting established, and they're like, oh, they're trying to find a spot to put Shanna on because so many people wanted to see her there. So that's just how fast it's coming up. Like even the first one, like Shanna's right up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it'll keep you out of trouble.
Jace,
Yeah, exactly.
we were kind of talking. You were talking about some of the maybe the steamier verticals that you've done. Jake, for you, Jace, had a tattoo on his back, I believe.
Okay.
Do you have a tattoo or is that fake?
I believe they're talking about that character was played by Tyler Ellis, and he actually has a tattoo. That was his actual tattoo.
That was his actual. Okay.
Yeah. So that one, for those, they kept his real tattoos, and then for Fight for Love, they actually added a bunch. So they have his real tattoos mixed in with fake ones that they would put on. Oh my gosh, it would take an hour every day. They would put these fake tattoos on, and it was a very time-taking process. But for the guys, they tend to let them keep
whatever they had
and show them, especially if it's a character. And I feel like in both of those cases, it fit.
So they take them off every day and put them back on the next day?
For Fight for Love, that's what they did. But for Swipe Right, I believe what you're referring to, the tattoo on his spine, that's his tattoo, yes. Cool.
Okay. And as when we were talking about combat training, you're a combat person or you've done combat, Jace?
Yeah, I well, both of us are trained in like stage combat and everything, but I do fight choreography for stage performances. I haven't done anything for film, but I mean, like for Macduff, when I played that, I was the co-choreographer for all the fights in that, I choreographed all the sword fighting because that one I broadsword. I did fighting in broadsword. Certified in broadsword and unarmed. And like we've done a bunch of training in other combats. But like I recently just there's a show called She Kills Monsters, which is basically like a D&D type show. And so there's a bunch of different weapons and a lot of fights. I just recently, for a high school, choreographed all their fight scenes for that with one of my friends who's my fight assistant and fight choreographer. Shanna got a fight assistant credit for that too because she helped. But yeah, no, I do a lot of fight choreography with that, hand-to-hand, broadsword, staff, knife, rapier. Rapier was my first one I ever did, but yeah, a lot of different weapons with that.
So they need to do some more kind of swashbuckling verticals with.
I want to do
Shanna
a
will die
pirate
for some
vertical.
pirates.
I want to do a pirate vertical so bad. I have a
Pirates and
hat. My
cowboys.
hat's actually sitting on our lamp right over.
Yeah, she would love pirates and cowboys. She needs those two verticals.
that.
But here's her pirate hat.
Oh, wow.
So I would be a big fan of a pirate vertical. I actually saw Vertical Drama Love, Jen. She just posted a post about wanting a pirate vertical today. And I sent her a photo of my hat and said, get me in on that. Like,
So where did the hat come from?
I'm a avid Renaissance Festival goer. 1 year I went in just like a basic corset skirt kind of look, something easy. And I was there and I was like, I really want a pirate hat. So I went up to one of the shops and the guy goes, we're going to find you a pirate hat. And he said, we're going to go on a quest. And he took me across the entire Ren Fair to go to his favorite hat shop where I went there. And he stayed with me as she had me try on hats and picked out the hat that best went with my outfit. And then he took me back to his shop where he fitted me with feathers to go with it.
Oh. Yeah, so you've got
an adventure.
Got a few feathers in there. The peacock feather, did I see?
Peacock, ostrich. That's the only ones I know. Other pretty ones.
Excellent.
That
Okay,
is
Michael.
something. Okay, here we go.
I know there's a lot of questions in the chat.
Wanda just says, Shanna, I can't wait to meet you at Verticon.
Well, I can't wait to meet you. I love you, Wanda.
Okay, and Felja says, do you like shooting those steamy scenes or does it feel weird?
I have a background in dance. I'll start with that. So the steamy scenes are choreographed and feel a lot like a dance. You're thinking of where your bodies go when and how your facial expressions are. And so with the right actor, which I've been very blessed to work with a lot of very talented co-stars, it can be fun, but not in the way that you're thinking. It's beautiful and it's interesting and it's a lot of thought and behind it. And so I find fun in them in that way, which I think also makes them read better on camera, because even if I'm having fun with them in the sense of it being like a dance, it still makes it read like I'm enjoying it on camera, versus where if I was uncomfortable, I feel like that would read as well. And it helps that for me, I have a partner who's so comfortable and understanding because he's also an actor. Jace and I
both are trained in
we're both trained in intimacy advocacy or something. We've taken courses on it, and so that helps as well. So I'm very comfortable with it, and I just think of it like a dance, and it makes it fun in that way.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I have a question for, it'll be Jace or Shanna or whichever one. Have you recorded any of your own songs yet, or are you just doing covers and you haven't really released anything out into the world?
We haven't recorded. Actually, I haven't recorded any of my own songs.
Uh-oh.
But I know someone who used to be in a boy band.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's not me, so yeah.
Back in my college days, a bunch of my friends and I just decided we wanted to start a boy band for fun. And so we made like a whole Instagram and everything. And if you can find it, we're on Spotify. I'm not going to say it's the best music. It's back before I had any vocal training. There was one guy in the group who has been doing music and knew how to make.
Were you the lead vocalist or no?
I was one of them. There were two.
Okay.
He was the one who was really good at singing and knew how to mix and master for his voice, and then I was the other one who was all right, and he didn't know how to mix and master my voice. It was very amateur. It was us just having fun. A lot of the songs are very cheesy.
There's a couple songs that I enjoy.
I think the really good ones are the ones that we never released. Because there was a boy band falling out, and the band got disbanded.
Oh.
That happens. That happens. Yeah.
And so we had some unreleased songs that are really good. But like you could, as they go on, like the different albums, the quality.
Oh, albums! Oh my!
We had an EP, our first one, and then we had our second one that came out in 2 parts, and part 2 never came out. But
I'm sure people are still waiting for that. Patience.
It's just like, where's it at?
I am.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Maybe in the future I'll get them all back together and we'll get into a professional studio and make something just for fun. It was a great time, just writing the songs and recording them. It was mostly mastermind musically by the other lead guy. I did a lot of the PR stuff with it and graphics and everything, but it was a fun time. There wasn't anything like super professional or anything.
Our whole college knew about it.
Our whole college knew about it. They would do all the theater majors would do dances to them to not really poke fun at it, but just like have fun with it. So it was a good time.
Well, I guess
So
I'm going to
is there
have to put you
dancing?
under the singer-songwriter category of our podcast now.
I
too.
used to have that on my resume, and then I took it off. I put it on there as a joke. I put a singer-songwriter. I put that on there.
But if you did it, you did it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
The
thing.
thing is, I'll put that on there, but I wouldn't want them to actually look it up and find it.
And now, according to this, Marsha, I'm just going to take over now for a minute. Wanda wants to know, Jace, what's your favorite boy band?
NSYNC, hands down.
NSYNC. NSYNC is the best.
My favorite is Jace C. I think JT is overrated. Come for me, Justin Timberlake.
Mhm.
JC is definitely the better. One of the two vocally. That's definitely. Actually, hold up. I'm gonna be like take 2 feet away from me.
All right.
Oh, this was a present that I got from when we first started dating.
We first started. This is my NSYNC Pop Funkos.
Gosh, Funkos.
But yeah,
We bonded over NSYNC when we first got together.
So it's definitely the best.
It
The
is
best
playing
boy
at our
band
wedding.
is NSYNC. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of NSYNC at our wedding. I did lip sync battles back in high school, and I learned like the professional dances for Bye Bye Bye, and It's Gonna Be Me. So we did that. So I know all those.
Yeah. Now here's a question for Shanna that's related. What's your favorite girl band from Wanda?
I don't know a lot of girl groups. I am Spice Girls. I got whispered an answer. But I mostly listen to boy bands and then also Sabrina Carpenter.
That's her girl.
Okay.
So that's not a girl band, but it is a girl.
But it's a
artist.
girl singer, yes.
So yeah, so I would say the closest answer I can have to that would be Sabrina Carpenter. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
I'm in love with her a little bit.
I'll have to fight Sabrina.
Oh, Mom.
You have to jump in
I'm not
here
sure.
while
I'm not
Michael's
sure what.
looking. Darn.
Jace, how many Funko Pops do you have?
I have 7 Funko Pops. 5 of them.
I don't even know what that is. That's sad.
Oh,
Little
Michael, you
collector
gotta
dolls.
get
I
with it.
think, a lot of like the little collector dolls. I have 7 of them. This is important because I have 5, one of each NSYNC member, and then I have 2, which are just
So that's the things we just saw. Okay.
JC and JT. They sit in my car in little cup holders.
He doesn't collect them.
I don't collect them. I just have a collect. My sister got me JC and JT Funko Pops for my birthday one year because I like NSYNC and that was funny. And then Shanna got me the complete collection of them. So I have 7 of them, and it's 7 of the 5 members of NSYNC.
Well, that's good. And do they battle when they're in your car?
No, but I have
dominance?
JC positioned on the spots. Whenever I look back, I see him and not JT.
They're in the cup holders.
Okay. So what happens if someone has a drink they want to put? Where do they go?
I tell him to hold it.
I see.
I said those spots are taken.
Well, sadly, that does make sense. Yeah, because that is their place, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
That is their place.
Yeah.
I know we're crazy. Marsha, do you have something more? I'm sure you do.
I do. Now that are you looking for more roles together that you can do together, or does that really play into what roles you do next?
Actually, let you have more
If the opportunity arises, I would love to do a lead with Jace. One, because our chemistry would be great, obviously. I think he's very talented, obviously. Obviously. But it's not like, it's never going to hit the point where I'll only work if I'm working with him. I love being able to work with a variety of different people, but I do like to bring him on projects with me as much as I can.
As a villain?
I would love.
I would love to be a villain.
If he was the villain, that would be so fun.
I've auditioned for roles that are like the direct villain or like the ex-boyfriend role.
It just hasn't quite lined up yet. We have a short film that we're going to be shooting together where we're romantic leads. At some point.
The contract hasn't finished going through yet. We have like one.
We have a maybe in the air.
It's a maybe. We've total times that we've like worked like where we actually interact with each other. I think we did like Robin Hood and
True Gentleman.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, True Gentleman. It's like those are like the two that we've actually like really interact with each other, and like their entire career of acting. I've directed her in a show before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think our styles and our interests are a little different.
I want to do action comedy. Like my favorite actor is Ryan Reynolds,
and I want to do rom-coms.
Might be a little what's the word? I can't think of the word for whenever something you shouldn't say. But it'd be bad to say that Ryan Reynolds is my favorite actor right now, just with the controversy. There's the word. But yeah, I
think we like Ryan Reynolds too.
I love Ryan Reynolds.
But yes, I would love to work with Jace one day. We've been definitely I've been bringing him up to like the executive producers that I know and being like, this is my actor fiance. You should audition him for something.
Or else.
Or else.
You have anything else, Marcia? We're probably getting ready to
go
wrap
ahead. I know
up
there's some
quick.
more questions.
Yeah, there's just one. This was about Shanna. What's your favorite Sabrina Carpenter song?
Oh, I have so many, but I really like Juno. And then her new one that just came out is so fun. Man-Child, I really love that one. But all of the stuff from her Short and Sweet album, I sang along to. But I think my favorite is Juno.
And wanted to ask Jace, what's your favorite scene from Fight for Love?
It's when they're all the different fights. I'm a boy. So whatever they're doing, the different fight scenes, not only just because I like action scenes, but I mean, as a fight choreographer, I like to watch it and see what they're doing and know what they're doing, and then like what I've kind of started doing on like different sets is making sure I'm paying attention whenever a fight scene's happen. Like I just filmed a fight scene, in the last one I was just working on, and it's just good for me to like watch and see like, oh, what are they doing differently than I'm doing when I do fight choreography on stage. Just because it's super interesting to me. So like all the different fight scenes. I don't think I have like one specific one in Fight for Love that's like, I mean, there's the one where they're fighting outside in the garage, and that's whenever Jake ends up punching a guy and killing him on accident.
Caleb.
Different
Different character.
Jake's the one. Same actor.
Same actor. Different character.
Different character, but yeah. So probably that scene, the one they're fighting outside.
Mm-hmm. I know we like to talk about the where you see verticals going. Are you interested? And I understand that there's been some writing going that you've written, at least one play, Jace, I know of. And is that something that you're interested in doing? Is creating your own pieces?
Yeah. Shanna's been working on writing a vertical right now. She also is into writing. I've had one play of mine produced, and then just like other ones that I've just written for fun that I'm working on now. But like definitely we've been really looking into writing for verticals. It's just like it's more just like getting the feel for how the scripts are written and like the flow of vertical, and then like putting together. But I mean, we could honestly write the pirate one.
That sounds good.
But no, I love writing. I have a lot of fun. Just like, I mean, the best part is when I have one of mine produced, the best part is like once you get to see it actually realized, it's just such a great feeling to see something that you've worked on come about. I mean, that's one thing that I like more about film than doing theater. Theater, you get the live audience, that's awesome. But like with film, you get to see what you worked on.
I love to watch them back.
Yeah, you get to see what you worked so long on instead of just doing it and like, that was it. There you go. But yeah.
How do you keep track of all of the verticals and all of the work that you're doing? How do you do that?
It was easy at first,
Now there's more.
and now I hit double digits, and it's very difficult. It's bad. I'll get character names mixed up in my head on set from previous leads that I've worked with, especially when you're working with the same guy. Especially when it's like, I worked with Casey 3 times, and now I'm wanting to call him Lucas every time I work with him. Or I've worked with Tyler twice, and now I'm trying to call him Caleb. Or I'm trying to say Tyler, or I'm trying to say Casey, like in the scene.
Once you know them, and you want to use
because once you're friends with them, and then I want to use their actual name in the scene. And so it's difficult to kind of sort them out. Or sometimes like the evil villain character will have the same name as a character I had in a different vertical. And so and they'll call you by your character names on set. So they'll ask you, do you prefer your name or your character name? And to make it easier for the crew, because they all know the character names, I'm okay with them just using my character name. But then it gets confusing when you have the same character name for a different character on set. So keeping them all, but having my IMDb helps, so I can remember what verticals I've been in. And it's also hard to balance auditions because they all film at the same time. So you're trying to say, well, I'm available for this date as of right now, but I just auditioned for something that takes up this date. So I have to audition for you and then figure out who is going to...
See your response first.
Yeah, see your response first, or if anyone responds at all. So balancing out auditions is something that I have been in free time, and figuring out how to schedule things has been a learning curve for sure.
Scheduling is no fun. Take my word for it.
Well, and when I first heard about verticals, most of them were done in LA, and you're in Kansas City. So has that flow begun where verticals are being done in more cities across the country from what I've seen?
They're shooting some in Atlanta. I know one that just shot in North Carolina. We shoot some in Kansas City. There's one company here that I know of that does them. 916 Productions.
All the ones I've done have been in Kansas City.
We're Ride or Die 916. We love them. They were where I got my start. So, and then I shot 2 in Vietnam that were based in LA, like the story was, but we shot them in Vietnam. But I shot them with the same production company. And then they're starting to shoot American verticals all over China. There's tons of production companies that shoot verticals towards American audiences based in, like, I did one that was supposed to be based in, like, I don't even know, we never clarified, but they were based in cities in America, and I know people who are tons of people who are shooting in China right now.
So do I, from who we've had on. Yeah. We've had a lot of guests that, especially from Australia.
Yes.
The Australian actors, it's close to them.
Yes.
To go to China. So, I mean, the first guest that I got for the show, I talked to him in November, and he was booked all the way till February.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get him on. He was our first guest, and he was the first one I ever talked to for verticals. And it took, from November to February to get him on the show because he was filming a lot of verticals, and a lot of them were in China.
Yep.
So,
and then once you're there too, it's like they're like, oh, you're in China right now filming. Do you want to stay longer? So
that's what he told me this last. I said to him, when are you going to come back? Well, I was supposed to, but
luckily you had a hard cutoff. So.
Yeah, I had a hard cutoff, but they're shooting.
Imagine that.
I know people who just shot one in Italy.
Yeah.
I had Malaysia. I had one from reach out, one from Canada. So yeah, verticals they have exploded just everywhere.
Yeah. Are you planning on a move anytime soon, or are you going to stay where you are for a while?
We'll be moving to Los Angeles in August, just because I get a lot of auditions and offers and such from there, and so it'll be easier to work where I live
It's also
than-
cheaper
True.
in LA
True.
than out in the middle of the United States.
Yeah, to get to places out of the country, it's cheaper to fly out of California because the airports there are actually international airports.
True. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, we've been able to be successful from where we are. So if that doesn't work out, like we know we can figure it out, and it's not. LA is not the end goal. It's just kind of a stepping stone to see what more we could do or what more we could audition for. Because right now there is just, at least in vertical world, a lot of opportunity in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and I think, and it's good to have a backup plan just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very true. Marcia, do you have a closing question
Well,
or
I know
comment?
that we might be winding down in a second, but somebody wanted me to ask Shanna a question about apparently one of your favorite scenes with a prop was with a whip.
It wasn't my favorite scene. It wasn't my favorite scene with a prop. It wasn't my favorite. But in Mr. Vampire Wants Me Every Day, we did have this whip that they gave to Casey to use that was meant to be used on me with the flogger. It had all the tassels. And the AD, the assistant director, his name is Hunter Johnson, and to show me that it was safe to be used on me, took it and goes, "This is a prop. It's meant to be used on your body. Look, boom, 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 boom." And smacked his arm with it a bunch of times.
Hunter's awesome.
Hunter's amazing. And I was like, okay, if he can smack himself that hard, that's fine. And then the intimacy coordinator was like, no, we don't need to be hitting anybody on this set. So he ended up smacking the bed instead. And I just reacted. And it was separate shots of his arm hitting something and then me.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that one too is her first one, jokingly, is the vampire BDSM being like her first big one. They originally wanted to do intimacy all on the first day.
They
so
wanted
it would
to
have
do
been your first time meeting Casey.
It was my first ever on-screen intimacy, my first ever simulated scenes of that nature. My first time meeting Casey Esser, my first filming. Casey and I have a bit of an age gap, nothing crazy, but my first time acting with someone that much older than me. And then it was also BDSM, and they wanted to do it scene 1, day 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's not nice. No.
And then the director, actually, Andy Lee.
Andy.
And I've worked with her a couple times as well. She's wonderful. But she was like, maybe we don't make these people do this the first time they
Day
meet.
1.
And they were like, oh, we were thinking about trying to get it out of the way, but that makes sense.
Which leads me to my last thing is bloopers. Fans have started to want blooper reels of things that we don't get to see.
Oh, they should.
I want you so bad. There's one I was talking about today at the end of Swipe Right, where it was the first take of Tyler proposing, and he goes, and it was like, I don't know what possessed him to do this, but he goes, "Lily Nibs, will you do me the pleasure of being my wife?" And that's how he said it.
There were a bunch of ones because he was doing that. I remember that because he was like, oh, he's like, this isn't a rehearsal.
Yeah, he thought it was a rehearsal.
They're just doing the recording.
And we thought the last name was so funny. It was Lily Niblock, and he goes, "Lily Nibs, will you do me the honor of being my wife?" And they looked at us, and we kept talking, and we were laughing, and we did the whole scene, and then they yelled cut, and they were like, "You know we were rolling, right?" We were like, "Why didn't you keep rolling?"
So, yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of bloopers of me feeding Tyler escargot. There's stuff with me and Robert in that elevator because our legs were getting caught up in the camp. Like, there's so many bloopers.
The hard part with the blooper reels.
It was you and I. You had your knife. There was oh my god.
The hardest part about doing the blooper reels for those is because how fast they're filmed. You don't really have time. Like, you're not doing a bunch of takes on one shot.
There's not many mistakes.
You're doing your take. You got like 1 or 2, and then it's the next angle. So it's not really. You don't really have as much room for mistakes. A lot of the really funny stuff is that everyone else off camera at the time while stuff's happening. But yeah, you get a lot of the funny moments on camera, but it's like they move on. You have to move so quick.
They move so fast. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so fast.
More like blooper reel of me calling line over and over again because
Yeah.
there was this one line that I just could not remember in this scene.
Yeah, there probably wouldn't be enough for like a full reel after everyone. There'd be like probably like 3 or 4 good moments.
But I guess
that
if
they
it's
have on
vertical,
camera.
it's short, that would work. I would love a blooper reel, at least for me too,
That'd be fun.
because
I love it.
there's a mix of like there's not a lot of space for mistakes, but the ones that happen are again it's like the Lily Nibs moment, like that. I forgot that happened, and then someone brought it up, that scene up today, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone out in cyberspace that watched us live. Thank you very much for coming. I think I got to a lot of the questions. I know I didn't get to everything, but hopefully we can have them back another time and we can torment them some more and we can have some more questions out from the chat room. But thank you, as I said. Marcia and I really appreciate you coming.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
finally getting Shanna to come. And I'd already, I'll rephrase what I said at the beginning. I was being funny, but I did ask Shanna and then she was very busy. And then I came across Jace, didn't realize they were, kind of knew each other very well. And then Jace said, well, I think Shanna might like to be on with us. And I said, I have no problem. I've been trying to get Shanna on for months. So,
Yeah, I was like, she'll be in the house when we're doing it.
Yeah.
She's in China. She's gone right now, but like, I bet she'll love to do it.
And she would. And I'm sure have a feeling she probably regrets it now. But, whatever. And Wanda says, bye. And the Ukrainian, thanks for an amazing interview. And, but everyone out there, we've got a lot going on this week. I'm going to quickly mention who we've got coming because it is incredible. Tomorrow we have one of the directors from some of the verticals. Danny Farber will be with us. And that'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And on Wednesday, we have TJ Wilk, who will be on at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And on Thursday, we actually have an actor who has been in the sci-fi series The Ark. And he's a guest star in the new Librarians, the next chapter. If anyone saw the original Librarians, this is like a sequel that runs at about the same time that the original show was running, but it takes place in Serbia with a different library annex. So it's kind of cool. So, and then after that, next week on Monday, we have Ellison Pipe at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. She is an 11-year-old actor that has been doing verticals. So we're really excited that she's going to join us. So on behalf of everyone here, NDB Media and Talented Universe, thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye.